This is Caroline Hobby with Hyper, and I have the Warren Brothers.
Are we Hyper, or was that part of your show?
I think I named the show Hyper because y'all are my first guest.
Wow.
And I wanted it to be fitting to who you were.
A lot of caffeine in this room. Next time I want my own microphone.
I know. I'm new. I'm getting started, okay?
You're doing very well, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
I like the one microphone. Of course,
so
if you have multiple microphones, it's kind of like a press conference. It does make us feel more important.
It does probably will keep us from talking over each other, this one, so
That's
that
good.
might
Lean
be a
in.
good idea.
So who's who? Tell me the difference between the two of y'all, because y'all are such a duo.
I'm Brad, and I have a bigger penis.
Have y'all compared?
We're brothers.
But, like, you have to, like, compare it all sizes, right?
I mean, we've been around each other a long time, so it's been a long
Is that
time
awkward?
since we've done that. But
It's not awkward. It's just, I have daughters, and at some point they'll probably watch the
Right.
show, and they'll be like, Dad, were you talking about you and Uncle Brad's wee-wees?
they don't want to hear the
They don't want to hear it.
10 CDs story. It's funny because I only have sons, and I kind of want to tell them these stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to ruin it for me.
Proud moment, huh?
It's a proud moment.
Okay, so what's the difference between the two of y'all?
I'm the youngest. Although I have gray hair
Really?
and look older, I'm actually 2.5 years younger.
Are you
He's
more
older.
stressed?
I must be. I always joke around and say it was very difficult to carry him for all these years. And
It must have been.
it was so difficult. I don't know. My grandfather had like gray hair when he was 30. So since I made it to 40, I kind of felt like I won
Yeah.
the genetic pool.
Better if it turns gray than it turns loose. That's what our family always says to him.
Better if your hair,
Better if it turns gray than if it turns
so you
loose.
can dye it.
Yeah, I won't though. You know, that sort of creepy Grand Ole Opry look. When I start dyeing it, it looks like that. It looks,
Your hair gets kind of like this orangish maroon. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And then you have a gray beard anyway. Like, hey.
I want to say to the guys like that have a comb over, or people that wear wigs, or guys that color their hair, like, we know. Don't you know? I mean, when you see somebody, you're like, you have a hairpiece, you color your hair, and you have a comb over. It's like, I don't know what they're hiding. So I just said, you know what? I'm just going to sort of be old and gray.
Okay, because like losing your hair is a real thing for guys. It's a fear, right?
Honestly, God cursed me with bow legs and buck teeth, and so we have our own afflictions. But we got all our hair. Our family, there's not a lot of baldness, but
We were blessed with that.
there's a lot of other guys that have everything but hair.
Everything but hair. Okay, not you. You guys are the Warren Brothers. They are set
Even
with
though
hair.
it's gray, look.
Looking
Look
good.
at it.
Okay.
In fact, mine's still got a little shampoo
Something's
in it.
gonna
I didn't
fall
get a
out.
chance to rinse very well today.
Okay. Wow, it looks good, guys.
Thanks. We really worked
Thank
hard
you,
on it this
Caroline.
morning. Can you
You're
tell?
not losing your hair either,
I'm
by
not
the way,
losing
and
my
it
hair.
looks very nice.
Thank you.
But your husband has nicer hair than you.
He has.
And you have
beautiful
nice hair, but I mean, like when you guys walk in, people go, "Oh my gosh, look, that beautiful
What-
blonde hair,"
what
and they're
beautiful
talking about
hair.
him.
I know.
And
I know.
they're like, "What beautiful hair!" And Caroline's isn't bad.
It used to be
you know?
down to his tits,
Yeah.
but he cut it.
I thought it was.
Did you make him so it wouldn't make you look bad?
No, I
Dude.
think he just finally like thought maybe like with the times, you know, when Johnny Depp cuts his hair, I think that means
Everyone has to cut their
You
hair.
gotta at least get it above the
And Brad
shoulders.
Pitt and Johnny Depp cut their hair.
Yeah, I think that means like you gotta go with the times.
I watched Pirates of the Caribbean with my family last night, and I know that movie's 10 years old, but Johnny Depp is so awesome in that. His Keith Richards character, him and Keith Richards, if they do something, you got to follow it.
You
pretty
got
much.
to.
Yeah, if you want to stay on the cool curb.
Okay, so I have a lot of questions. I'm gonna take this bracelet off because it's banging.
It's jingle jangling.
I was gonna say it was banging, like in a
It's
good way.
banging,
But
yeah.
Can I wear it?
You can't. Along with your this is a good look. Do you
Oh, the
wear this
camo hat
often?
and the long underwear. No, I just did it just for your show to be special.
It's the preppy hunter. look.
He's
He's got the preppy hunter.
This is if you're going squirrel hunting, but you may stop by Applebee's for a nice dinner before.
I was gonna say you're going squirrel hunting, but you got a game of tennis later this afternoon.
The
Yeah,
over
but
the
this is
shoulder.
long. This is
Yeah.
not just a black shirt. This is black long underwear, long johns. This is long johns.
Okay.
So you can be warm and look like a loser.
Yes,
So that's
exactly.
nice.
We want to
Guys.
hold on. All right, good.
Nice.
Okay, so I, of course, now that I am interviewing people, I get to stalk. And it's totally not creepy when you stalk because you have to know your facts.
Right?
So you guys are in a heavy metal Christian band?
Oh yeah.
How did that come about, and how on earth did you translate that into country music eventually?
We were raised by a total hillbilly who loved country music and would sing. We used to love it. When we were boys, we had a trundle bed. You know what that is?
Oh, yeah, I had
And they
some.
roll it out. So Brad slept on the top when I was on the bottom. My dad would come in and play Roger Miller and Johnny Cash and just old country songs. He loved it. And
so we hated it.
So we hated it. We ran from it, and we loved rock and roll. The first time we heard Sweet Home Alabama, we were like, see you later, Dad. We're going over here. And then we just started loving, it was 80s metal, and we were into it. And we went to a Christian school. We weren't allowed to, go to places that sold beer. We weren't allowed to listen to anything but Christian music. So we started playing in a Christian metal band. It backfired a little bit.
We've realized something years later. Even Jesus hates Christian rock.
He does.
Yeah, he does. He hates it. There's no doubt.
Did you scream?
No, he
I wanted to.
He basically sings the same way he does now, which is why we didn't make it as artists.
Give me a little taste of one of your songs. Can I have a little chorus of one of your songs?
I don't remember.
Yes, you do.
Oh, come on. This is the first song we ever wrote.
Oh, yeah, let's hear it.
Well, this is going back to junior high.
This is junior high, but
Let's do this.
great I am. Oh yeah, baby. The great I am. Which is what's ironic is that was like 30 years ago, and that sounds like the intro to Jason Aldean's new single.
So maybe he ripped you guys off. You guys were the start of that
for sure.
trend.
Oh.
Yeah, it's great.
Are you going to sue?
No, we don't sue people.
Okay.
No.
You don't sue people.
We don't sue people.
Because way too many people could sue y'all.
Yeah, it is.
For sure. I'm looking at your
Don't
questions.
read the questions.
I'm attention deficit.
Okay, well,
so if
just
you
don't read
said
my
anything out
questions.
shiny
Okay.
or something I can read, I will wander.
Okay.
All right, I'm trying not to.
Don't
Smoothie
cheat.
King.
Smoothie
We might be
King.
owners one day.
Really? Mm-hmm. Why is
There's a
that?
chance.
You're going to partner up?
We got a friend that owns a bunch of Smoothie Kings.
Okay. Okay, I want to start off with a little bit of rapid fire.
Okay.
If you had to be the pet dog to one celebrity, who would it be and why? Make it good.
Right now or 20 years ago?
You can
Or ever.
whatever you want.
Well, I'm saying because I'd want to be like Shania Twain's pet 15 years ago, just in case I got to swim in the toilet before she had to pee. I don't know. but now that I'm older,
Right.
yeah,
Whose pet would I be, or does that have to be
Whose pet dog would you be
pet dog?
and why?
I think I would be Brian Kelly from Florida Georgia Lines, and I'll just leave it at that.
But those dogs have good lives.
Yes,
You know
very
what I mean?
sleepy.
It's happening.
Very sleepy.
They're very chill.
They eat a lot of doggy treats. It's crazy.
They're hungry all the time?
I think I would be BK's dogs.
They take their dogs on trips. They're on some
He
island.
has a pen under his bunk in the bus where the dogs have
The
a similar bed to
Yours.
the artist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good life for a dog.
Yeah. So right now, and given where I am in life, I would be BK's
Okay.
pet.
Okay.
What do you like, you Brett?
I would be Donald Trump's dog, so I could be there in the morning in the bathroom and see how he does his hair. I really want to see how it happens.
You want the inside dirt.
Well, it's not dirt. It's pretty impressive, actually.
Oh, yeah. Do you think it's a comb over? Or
Do I think it's a
toupee?
comb over? It's cotton candy.
It's a comb over, but it is his comb over.
It's his.
Oh, like his real hair, you think?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. I
he
mean,
let someone pull it the other
If
day.
you've got that much money and you're going to buy a head of hair, it wouldn't look like that. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Okay.
We've
Okay.
talked a lot about hair today.
Who would you let punch you in the face?
Justin Moore.
Why?
He's small.
But he probably throws a big punch. He's got muscles.
Yeah, let me retract that.
Who would you?
Who would I let punch me in the face? I don't know. Trace Adkins. If you're gonna do it right.
Oh,
You know,
man.
it's some big dude. I'll let Trace Adkins punch me right in the
You're
face.
going down with that
Yeah.
one.
Then I could be a wounded veteran and he'd have to take care of me. So there you go. Go ahead, Brett.
I mean, if we were just sitting, I'm being really honest, we were just sitting in a room and there weren't mics on. I have about 4 really funny ones, but they're kind of offensive too.
Is there anyone you can say?
Come on.
Just say
Right.
one.
No, I mean
Don't safe guy.
Don't
No,
say
it's
that.
not
We're
safe. It's
safe
like-
No
around
one's gonna hear
Hyper.
this. Don't worry. Just kidding.
This is going worldwide, baby. Choose your words wisely.
There's been a lot of people that punched me in the face before.
Like, really?
Yeah, he's punched me in the face before.
Is he a good puncher?
It's pretty good.
Did it hurt?
He's better. Brett's actually, for the record, is a good fighter. He always was, and now he's like a black belt in Taekwondo. So he's kind of that pathetic dad good fighter. You know,
I'm not a good.
he's about to beat up some kids from Belmont every now and then. Like if they give him lip,
They pull out in traffic in
on the
front of me.
road. He looks like an old guy. He can kick your ass. I mean,
You guys look scrappy. Y'all got it.
We're
Y'all
scrappy.
got muscles.
I would probably let Natalie Maines punch me in the face. I really want her to punch me in the face.
Okay. Any particular reason?
so you can punch her back.
Pretty much. That'd be it.
Okay.
That would.
All right, Johnny Manziel.
No, I should have never picked a girl. Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, you're trying to cheat.
I know. I wasn't looking that time. I was looking around for the thermostat because it's hot in here.
It's
Oh, maybe
'cause
it's
you
this.
guys walked in
Wait,
the room.
maybe it's
Is it
this.
hot?
Oh, you're thermal.
All right.
Feeling
Sorry.
better?
Yes, actually it is better.
Who's your
It look-
celebrity free pass and why?
Celebrity free pass?
Yeah.
Explain that to me.
Like, who would your wives be okay with if y'all had, a date?
Dolly Parton.
Oh,
Yeah, she would totally allow that.
she would.
Yes.
Dolly would be awesome.
She made me kind of feel sorry for you.
I think
What?
she.
Oh, Dolly's got it. That's got to be rough underneath the.
Hey.
Do you have to stay all night, or do you just?
You use yours. I'm talking about
You
mine.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay.
Don't get into my world.
Dolly, what about you?
I don't know. There's none, and there's so many. You know what I mean? Like, let's say.
By the way, just so you know, no wife and husband that really love each other, that whole you get one day and one person, that really doesn't really exist.
I know. Because it actually
It sounds like a good idea, but if you ever see like Indecent Proposal, it ends bad.
Yeah.
I base everything on 80s movies. This just so you know.
You die.
All right, this is kind of awkward to say, but I think mine would be Michael Hobby. So
I will tell you that's a good choice. You would not be
That's a good choice.
disappointed.
All the flowing
Ugh.
hair, the flowing hair and whatnot.
Look, we write good songs for them, and I want that to continue. So it's like I don't want any visuals or nothing yucky.
Just saying. I mean, you could only be so lucky.
Right? No, that's what I
Good
was
decision.
thinking.
Okay, and then let's end with what's the best decision you've ever made and what's the worst decision you've ever made? I know that's going to be tough for you guys. Because you guys made a lot of decisions.
Starting drinking is the worst, and stopping drinking was the best.
But was it fun in between?
Yeah, it was fun, really, really fun, right up until it wasn't anymore.
Oh,
How long did you guys drink before you got sober?
We drank, but
We waited a long
there was
time,
probably
too.
10 years of really good hard.
Yeah, we had a decade of.
So 5 of that was killer, 2 of that was kind of killer, and then 3 of it was getting really dark.
So
and
the
not
tail
fun.
end was not good.
No.
No, it
Well,
gets
if it was good, he would still be doing it. Yeah.
What made you guys decide to go sober?
It wasn't working anymore. You know, it wasn't fun anymore. Whenever it stops being fun, I mean, I don't have a problem with people that drink. I'm not one of those people. I don't think it's a sin. But for me, I had a problem with it, and so when you get to the point where it starts to ruin your life, you got to be honest and go, "Hey, this sucks."
What's funny about that, and we're pretty honest about not doing it. When we told people that we were quitting, and I went to rehab, and when I tell people, I was expected them to be really surprised, and they would go, "Oh, good for you."
Thank you. Oh gosh, we're so happy.
Oh, good for you. I'm like, wow. So
But
everybody
in the music
kinda,
business, you can think that if you quit, especially if you're in the throes of it, if you quit drinking, people are going to stop talking to you or like you. And everybody for us was like, "Thank God, come here, give me a hug."
It
Like,
liked
no-
you more.
Well, I mean,
they started talking to us again.
yeah, exactly. It's never a bad thing to get that together.
So you guys do everything together, including sobriety at the same time.
Close.
It wasn't. Yeah.
Like 3 days apart.
Well,
Yeah.
that wouldn't be fun for one of you guys to be.
Well,
sober
we had a
and the
huge
other-
bottle of Crown on our tour bus, and it would get pretty much finished every night. So we started firing people in the band that were drinking because they were drinking too much until nobody in the band or crew drank but the 2 of us, and the bottle of Crown was still gone every night. So it became pretty apparent that we
Maybe
had a
it's-
problem.
Then maybe
it's
you
us.
guys are the ones. Okay, well, congrats on that. That's a big deal,
Thanks.
and that's a big accomplishment. And it's awesome y'all can do it together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't actually get sober.
All right,
together.
what's your answer for your best
Oh,
decision?
yeah, best
worst
decision,
one?
worst
I took the
decision.
easy. I took the low hanging fruit.
I mean, well, that's probably the truth. I don't know. The best decision was, getting married, starting a family. Because that's the best decision I made. I still love it. It's really great. I love my
What do you
kids.
love about marriage?
I'm one of those guys that likes to be married. It's cool. I just like the home. I'm kind of a homebody. I guess because we were so wild for so long, I like being home. I like being with my kids. My favorite time of the day is all of us at the dinner table eating dinner together at night. Like, I'm kind of old school in that way. And it's just fun for me. I mean, you wouldn't think it, but so I love it. I love just hanging out with my kids and coaching football. And I took my girls on a date Saturday. I got them a massage, and then I took them to
Your
eat
daughters.
dinner.
You sound Mormon if you say my girls.
My daughters. I took my daughters to on a date, And one of them had a blast, and one of them said they had a terrible time because me and the other daughter were being obnoxious, and she doesn't like it. It was just funny. It was like, I thought it was like, oh, this is this great point. And one of my daughters was like, this is the greatest day. And the other one goes, this was terrible. I do not want to go out with you guys again.
It was too outrageous for her?
Yeah. I mean, they're just so different. It's always.
Who thought it was terrible? Which one?
Oh, Lily was like, you and Ava are being obnoxious. Yeah.
He's got one daughter that's just like him.
Yeah, one's just like me. And I would tell them, I said, look, I'm going to walk 30 feet in front of you in the mall. I'm going to do something. And when I turn around after I do it, if you're laughing, I win. If you're not laughing, you win. So like I ran up in front of this older couple's walking. I just jumped in the air and clicked my heels together. And I turned out and they were losing it laughing. And so then there was like in the Gap, they had a big poster of like all these different color lips, like because they're selling lipstick. And I went up and I was kissing one of the lips on the window right in front of like 9 people. And I guess I took it too far for my one daughter that's more conservative. Okay. She was like, okay, Dad, I don't like the obnoxiousness.
Oh, it's so funny.
So where does that come from? You guys are just absolutely fearless and crazy and wild. I've watched a lot of stuff on you guys on the internet.
We're not good looking enough to be not funny.
You are good looking enough.
No, we're not. We were never good. We were too skinny and ugly to be like just normal. We had to be like funny or.
No, our dad was funny.
Yeah.
So did y'all try to be funny, or did you
no.
just?
Oh no, we worked at it. Yeah, we tried.
I don't think so.
You try all the time to be funny. You're trying now to be funny.
I try. Like if it's there, I say it. You know what I mean? There's this joke hanging, and that's gotten us in trouble before. This joke just sitting there, and you're like, I know that somebody's gonna get offended, but 3 people are gonna crack
He's
up.
right. Our family's just like that.
So I don't try not to. Okay, I know that's funny, but I'm gonna leave it there. So that part, I guess I'm trying, but the funny thought just pops into the head. I just can't do it.
So
I was just fun. I know he's telling me that I take suburbanite dad taekwondo, and the guy that teaches a class during the class, I mean, he's pretty serious. Like
he's kind of Kramer on Seinfeld. He's beating up the kids.
Well, no, grown men. You just have to kind of stay on top of it, even though we're not UFC fighters. You have to make sure it doesn't get out of hand. So he's kind of serious.
Keeping fit.
No, just when people are fighting each other, you can escalate quickly. You know what I mean? Right. Even if you're not mad at each other, but you're sparring. Long story short, everything was kind of serious in the head. Master comes walking by and I leaned and I said, is it just me or and I mentioned this guy's name. I said, does he look like a retired porn star? I just whispered it to him in the middle of class. And he lost it. Like he's like, wah! And he's like, he was the leader of the class.
The headmaster?
Yeah, I asked him if somebody else looked like.
I thought he was the sensei.
No, they call him, well, it's just whatever. But the point was, here's a guy who's being really serious in the middle of a class that he's teaching, and I just couldn't hold the joke, and I made him laugh so hard he had to like just tell us to do an exercise. He had to walk off. He was like belly gut laughing because it was the last thing anybody in his class would say to him. But I'm standing there dead serious, and he walked by and I said, I leaned forward and just whispered it to him and stood back up. You know, like you're almost like in the military. I stand at attention. I mean, dude, I got him. It was like I gut punched him. He was like, whoa! I was like, whoa! And he's just like, and everybody in class is like really serious. They're looking like, what did he just say? And I looked straight forward like it was nothing. It was so
is that trying, or is that just not skipping the joke that's just there?
Do you guys not care about consequences?
We struggle with that. We struggle with that. You should interview our wives and see if they think.
It's one of those things where when it pops in your head, okay, I went to see his son play basketball Friday night, and there was this kid on his team, and I said, man, that kid looks like John Hinckley Jr. And he did. It's like, so I don't know if I'm trying because I say it to him, but it just pops in my head, man, that kid looks like John Hinckley Jr.
Nah, it's fun for us.
Thinking it.
It's fun for us to make people laugh.
Yeah, so I don't know.
My dad used to tell us, he goes, man, you guys are really talented musically, but don't ever lose your sense of humor because that's what people like about you. And I think that we just try to stick with it.
Well, and you guys are a dynamic duo. It's fun to be with y'all.
Oh, thanks.
Good. It's fun to be with you.
Oh, thanks, guys. So how did y'all decide who's lead, who's backup, who's playing what?
It wasn't very hard because at
God decided that.
At 12, he could play the guitar really good, and I didn't play anything. And then,
have you ever heard me sing?
No, he's actually a really good singer. But then I just started singing. I got better at singing because they asked me to be in their band. I was like, I don't want to be in a band. I want to play basketball.
Okay.
And they're like, come out to the practice on Friday night. We would practice at our church. And so we went out there to the church, and they set up on the stage, and we would practice music. And every girl from our school was there, and
it's a girl night.
All the girls from everywhere else. And I was like, you know what? I'll give this a try. I'll give it a shot. So that's how.
So we made him the drummer and the singer.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep. We wanted to be Night Ranger.
Okay.
And then years later, we met Jack Blade, and we were kind of disappointed. But
he wasn't funny.
We wanted him to be funny or think we were funny, but he didn't.
Not either.
Yeah, neither.
Okay, so God decided you're the singer,
Yep.
you're a badass guitar player.
That's it.
I did not realize.
Why didn't you say you're a badass singer and you're the guitar
nuts.
player?
You
You just
said
said
right.
you're the singer, you're a badass guitar
That was
player.
all stated perfectly, I think.
I think you're a badass singer. Okay, I need you to hold it right there.
I can't. You might not
Just
have.
hold it right there.
Here, you mean hold for a
Why
minute?
don't you hold
Okay.
hands and hold?
Oh,
This-
yeah,
sharing
that-
the mic is really
Kumbaya.
Kumbaya.
I do like when people ask us if we live together. That's always really funny.
Well, I got separate texts from you guys that y'all are coming at separate times, and for a second I was like, why are y'all texting separately? But then I was like, because you do have separate lives.
Well,
Really
and
do.
Brett lost his phone today. Like my freaking teenagers don't lose their phone. I don't know how. I'm not even gonna ask how that happened.
I went duck hunting yesterday and I never go duck hunting, and this guy took me, and we had to get up at 2:30 in the morning, and when I was getting out of the car, I was just so glad to be home, and I wanted to get in my bed so
duck hunting,
fast.
you have to be freezing cold. It's like
It's
terrible
freezing cold, and you're
conditions.
wading through waist deep water for like a mile, carrying backpacks of fake ducks. It was really fun, but it was a lot.
Yeah.
Like it was a lot. And when I got, and it was 2.5 hours away, so it was 5 hours of driving. I got up at 2:30 in the morning, and I just left it in this cup holder.
It happens.
Oh.
I did
And then
not
as he's
know.
pulling away, I can't run after him. Like, how do I call him? There's no house phones.
No one has.
You
a
didn't
house
have
phone.
his number.
No.
Are you old enough to know, or are you too young to know? I should phrase it like that. To know about the phones on the wall with the
No, I
long
had a
cords.
phone
You had the
on the
long
wall.
cords.
My kids know about the
Yeah,
phone on the wall.
yeah.
I mean, they got a TV.
Yeah.
Sage had his iPhone when he was 6.
They know about it though. I mean, they know that we had it.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I did not know you guys sang the theme song to Where the Heart Is on that movie. That was my favorite freaking movie. Was that a big deal for you? And Sarah
At
Evans?
the time, all
She
we were
hot.
was mad that it wasn't a bigger hit because they had convinced us to do this kind of cheeseball song and this
thought it
kind of
was a hit.
cheeseball movie. It was. It
kind
went
of
to
a
like,
hit.
I don't know, 17 or
like
something.
that.
For us, it was a hit. Yeah. Nothing in the middle of it seemed like it was all that big of a
It was
deal.
cool though.
Yeah.
I liked it. Was cool. I liked singing with Sarah Evans. Well, it was a good song. I
That
dug
was
it.
an amazing song.
It's
And
one of
that
those songs
movie-
everybody asks us to play that we don't know how to play or really well. And we didn't write it, so we're like, eh.
We probably should do that.
Y'all
I mean-
should do that.
I don't know. Then you're like Andy Griggs on a cruise ship or something. Like we're songwriters. The artist career was kind of like a little thing. No offense to Andy Griggs on the cruise ship, by the way, but you know,
They're awesome.
we're not trying to continue our artist career. That part.
Where did the artist career go?
I didn't know. We made
Branson. It went to Branson. It went to the artist's graveyard.
we made a conscious decision to stop being artists and to start being songwriters. I literally think the day that we got our first BMI check after having a top 5 record, we went, "Oh, that's a lot of money."
We
And
did 300 dates and broke even. Like you did 300 days on the road
Yeah.
as an artist at our level and just churning it just to break even.
Yeah.
And it was killing us physically, everything. And then we wrote a hit for Faith Hill, and we went to the mailbox and opened it up and we went, "Why don't we do more of
Was
this?"
that the lucky one?
the
Yes,
lucky one.
the lucky one.
I love that song.
Within a 6-month period, it's like we got sober. We wrote a hit with or for Faith Hill, and our wives kind of had agreed to stay with us, but kind of under the assumption that we were going to not be gone
Did you have to
200
convince
days a
them?
year. To stay with us?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and they deserve. I mean, yeah, we were absolute hellions. Yeah, that we have. Of course, we had to convince them. But a lot of life changes happened like right at one time, and right along with those life changes, and there was no ultimatum like you can't go on the road, but it was just this uncomfortable time. And then we had a hit, and like right when all this was kind of going on, we got a BMI check, and I went, okay, decision made. We're gonna stay here and do it, and we just. I don't think we've.
Well, we struggled as artists because we were
Because we
story
sucked.
songs
Because we
like country
sucked.
and well, one is we just were all over the map, which is as a writer great.
Right.
Like we write with Neo, and then we write with Nickelback, and then we'll write with your husband
love it
Michael.
all.
It's all we love all of it. I love all of it. But as artists, it was like
You can't be
we would go to
picked.
New York and play, and the rock labels would go, "Wow, that's you guys are an awesome country band." Then we would come play in Nashville, and they would go, "Man, you're like one of the coolest rock bands we've ever seen." Because this was 15 years ago. 98.
You're a little progressive.
97, 98.
We were a little
You
progressive.
guys are progressive. And I totally agree. You guys have such wild personalities that can't be harnessed. And that makes
Thank
sense.
you.
It makes sense that reflects in your music. I totally get it.
Yeah, this kind of just say what you think thing is not great as an artist. And we were doing like the rock thing that your husband's now living off of what we created.
Yeah, he actually
no.
he told me to tell you thank you.
Yeah, I was just telling thank you. No, but all these guys, we were very much a little bit rock and country before it was okay
Yeah.
to do on radio. But it's honestly, the songs were really not that good. We're much better writers now. if I could go back 20 years, I'm not sure I wouldn't change anything, but I do know how to become a hit artist now.
How?
Well,
Find hit songs.
Find or write hit songs. Don't be so married to recording what you wrote. Don't worry about who's playing on your record or who wrote the songs. Find something that's your patch of ground and do that. And then don't say everything that comes to your mind, which is something that we did a lot.
Which I think is amazing. Okay, so I'm kind
so
of
it's fun, but
I'm rabbit trailing. Something that came to your mind. So after y'all had this artist career, you toured with Tim McGraw first. I want to talk about Barely Famous, and I want to talk about your hits, but I also want to talk about touring with Tim McGraw and Faith. What was that like? Because you guys are best friends. Do y'all even have matching tattoos?
No, we almost got matching tattoos. He tried to get us to get the dance hall doctor tattoos.
I was telling the guy that took me duck hunting yesterday. I was telling the guy that took me duck. He was like, "How did you meet Tim?" And I was like, "Well, when our first single came out, we opened for Faith, and
she's amazing.
She was amazing. She was blowing up at the time. Like this Kiss had just come out, like this, but it was theater tour, and our manager got us on there, and she liked us, and it was really cool. We would sit on the side of the stage, and this like country guy in a baseball hat would walk out on stage with her, and the place would erupt. And we knew who Tim McGraw was. Our dad liked Indian Outlaw.
Oh, yeah.
But one day they had a flag football game, and Tim walked by and said, "Do you guys play football?" And we're like, "Yeah." So he goes, "You want to be on my team?" And we played like this street football game, and me and Brad and Tim just like lit it up. And so,
we beat Faith's band really bad, and we've been friends ever since.
Well, he said later, he goes, "You guys play basketball?" And we played basketball like 3-on-3, and then he literally asked us, "Hey, I'm going on tour." And it was when Dixie Chicks had just blown up with Wide Open's Face. He said, "I'm going on tour with me and the Dixie Chicks. You guys want to come out with us? You'll be the third one on the bill, and we'll play basketball every day." That's what he said. He wasn't like, "I love your songs." He goes, "We'll play basketball every day." And we're like,
"We'll be best friends."
And
really
once at sound check, we were out playing songs we had just written, and he came up to us after the sound check and was like, "Man, what were you just playing?" And we were like, "Oh, something we just wrote." And he's like, "Man, I love your songwriting. I've been listening." So he kind of became a fan of our songwriting, thank God. And
we've written a couple hits for him.
We've actually had like 20 Tim McGraw cuts.
What?
Cuts, yeah. We've had 3 hits, but we've had.
Care if you're reading this.
And Felt Good on My Lips were the hits, but we've had, tons of cuts on his albums.
Wow.
Blank
So
Sheet of
really
Paper,
loves
and
y'all.
so he did love our songwriting, but we became friends through playing basketball and sports. But we opened for Faith. That very first tour we ever did, and then we opened for Tim and the Dixie Chicks, and then we went out and opened for Tim and Faith on Soul to Soul, just the two of us acoustically, and then after that we opened for Tim again, and then after we quit being artists and we're just friends, we played in his band in 2008 the whole year, and 2010.
Tell me about that.
We were
it was really cool to play it. It was really cool to play at dark.
Wow.
You know, because we were always playing.
We always played with the sun's out.
You know, it was cool to play at nighttime.
There were people there.
And there were butts in the white chairs, which is really cool.
Yeah.
People always used to refer to us as the Cato Kalin of the McGraw family. From the OJ case, Cato Kalin, the guy that lived in the guest house.
She's too young to know.
I know,
that
but
reference.
I have a really bad memory. So
No.
what does that mean exactly? How does that translate?
Cato Kalin was like living in O.J. Simpson's guest house when he chopped his wife up. So if you don't get the initial joke, it probably isn't that funny. We'll just cut all this out.
Is there any way we could use some form of joke like that again that's not Cato Kalin?
So what were you guys like in the band?
And Tim's band,
Yeah.
we were like
We were
extras
like
that
not
were
in the mix.
unnecessary.
We were sort of like not in the mix.
There was a few parts that we had that were like meaningful. He gave me a couple of solos, and Brett played the harmonica on some stuff.
Like you were plugged in though, right?
Oh yeah, we were plugged in.
Yeah, because you're badass. And you're.
We were kind of interrupting the flow.
Again,
yeah,
hesitation.
again,
You said
you're
he
right.
was a badass guitar player.
And then you hesitated again.
I didn't know if you were a
No,
badass
I'm just kidding.
guitar
We
player.
were friends with all the guys in Tim's band. I think we were out there to mix it up and have fun with them and make them,
What's the craziest story? Give me one.
Well, I was stage diving every night, which I was
Are you
like.
joking?
By the way, this is playing in Tim's band was during sober years, so the crazy stories are.
Let me see.
not as
2010. In 2010 was the last time we played in his band, and I would run and jump and stage dive. And Tim, and I was at the time almost 40 years old. I'm like, I'm almost 40. And I'm stage diving. I'm actually living my dream. The 80s Christian rock thing was coming back.
You got it.
So
It came into full
every night I would get the guy. I would tell the section I'm stage diving. So I would run and launch, and all the people would catch me, and then move me back to the stage. Well, some lady was standing one night, looking at Tim with her teeth right here, smiling, and when they passed me back to the stage, they smashed it and smashed her teeth out. So we had to, I guess Tim had to fix her teeth, and we had to quit stage diving.
That was the end of stage
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've already been talking 45 minutes. This has been a blast. Let me get through a little bit
I'm really
more.
hoping we're going to get to be able to talk about my weekend, but it's okay if we don't.
Oh, let me hear about your weekend really fast.
No,
And then
no,
I want to hear
no, do yours.
3 questions. First, your weekend. Then I want to hear about craziest drinking day story you can tell me. Craziest sober day story you can tell me. And then on here about your biggest hits. And then Barely Famous, and then we're wrapping. Can you do that all in 10 minutes?
Yeah. Forget my weekend. That'd be at the very, very end first.
You're cheating. You
No,
can't
I'm not.
help.
Keep looking.
I wasn't looking. I was making sure my cup is behind there so it's out of the camera shot.
What's the craziest drinking story you can share with me? With a celebrity.
With a celebrity?
I think, I mean, like the fun. Well, geez, you know, one of the times it was like it's like a crazy drinking story, but it wasn't like funny. We had some moonshine that someone brought out, and we were in like Des Moines, Iowa, and I stood up on this bridge, and I was going to jump off this bridge and do a cannonball after this moonshine. I'd had too much. And for whatever reason, you know when you're standing up on a diving board, there's that moment where you just make yourself jump?
But except for you're on a bridge?
I'm on a bridge. I was going to jump in the water and do a cannonball and then swim to shore.
You have no idea what's below you.
No, I had drank too much moonshine. And the next morning I woke up and it was one of those concrete rivers that drains water out of the city. And the water was only like a foot deep. And I was like that close to jumping and doing a cannonball, which means I wouldn't be here today. So that's the story I always revert to. It's like, oh my gosh, I
could have died.
Could have died with a small child and a wife at home.
It's such a sad one, though.
No, I have
one
to be real or fake.
No,
real.
I'm not trying to get you to like vote for me for like artist of the year. Like I don't care.
You already
oh my God, that's so Maren Morris, not you. I don't even know why I said that. I thought of one I can tell. So we are in Washington D.C. Good look. Dierks Bentley was just coming out as a new artist. And for some reason we were in Washington, D.C., and we went out to a bar together, and we were just being like our regular like Tuesday night or whatever. And we were at some point in this like sports bar, just like a kind of a clean sports bar, we were doing full out like tackle drills for football, like in the middle of the bar.
Me and Brad and Dierks.
Knocking each other. Dierks, and we had a couple other friends and, you know, band members and whoever else around. So the next day, Dierks is doing a show, and he's opening for us, which is kind of funny because it's, you know, that's how early it was for him. And he said, yeah, you go out with your friends normally, and you have a couple beers, and you have a little headache the next day, and, you know, you drank a little too much. He goes, I went out with the Warren Brothers last night. He said, I woke up in a started car this morning that I didn't know where I was with the door open, one boot, the other one completely missing, and my tooth chipped.
And a cracked rib.
And a cracked rib. He had a cracked rib.
You had no idea how this happened?
We had a pretty good idea. We started with tackling
Some of
each
it
other.
started with the tackling. I'm not sure exactly what happened. The following night, we kidnapped him, and he wound up riding our bus home, and we called Joe Galani, who was the president of our record label, and Dierks left him like a 20-minute message on how he was ruining our career because he wasn't releasing the right songs on us.
I remember that.
It was like a full 48 hours of, and I think it was whatever bad drinking Dierks has done since then is probably because we introduced him to that night.
Okay, so you started it.
Yeah, maybe.
fault.
Yeah, it's our fault. That's one that I can tell.
What's
That's
the
all pretty
craziest
cool.
Tim story that you can tell?
What's the what?
Craziest Tim McGraw story that you can tell.
Oh, well, we go down to this island that they have, and we jump jet skis, and we right is these huge jet boats, and the waves roll in, and when they're big, I mean, you can hit them, and you could jump over a school bus. And the waves were small one day, and Brad was jumping the waves going the wrong direction, like back towards the shore. And the boat flipped over and smashed his ankle and like snapped it. Like his legs going down, and his ankle's like hanging. He's got. I mean, he broke his leg, so his foot's like dangling like this. And when the boat shoved into the bottom, it smashed us. It looked like somebody had beat him up in a gang fight. It smashed him against the coral reef into his face. So he's laying there. He's like, and I was like, oh no, I could tell when he's really hurt. You know, I'm like, dude, he's really hurt. Don't touch him for a second. He's like, my leg, but he couldn't even talk. And Tim's like, your leg's not hurt. Reaches down, grabs him by the life vest, and just like pulls him up on this boat and boom, bangs his leg into the boat. And Brad's like, passes out. Like, I mean, we had to like take him. He's lucky he didn't bleed to death. But I mean, we were always doing something. We're always pushing it.
So you guys are like so lucky to be alive.
Pretty
Oh,
much.
many ways, yeah.
What life do you think you're on? Like, you know, Kat has 9 lives.
10 or 11 probably.
I don't know.
I mean, it's funny. It's at some points we get like, we're not total adrenaline junkies, but we'll keep up with one if we're out with one. Like with Tim, we go spearfishing and we're out swimming and just shark is chasing Tim and we're in the water too. And I'm like, what are we doing? So I like it. We're into it, but it's we always, when we were doing drugs, we would start to panic and go, oh my God, this is too much. We need to stop. So there was a little bit of a safety thing that would click off in us and go, this is getting too far, which eventually luckily led us to quit. But I'm trying to think of a funny drinking story with Tim that we can tell, but it's not. We can't.
What was y'all's favorite drug of choice?
Just pretty much whatever showed up, I think.
Probably. I mean,
when you have an alcohol problem, you don't remember a lot.
There's things that, let me just say this. We loved Crown Royal, and there's things that help you drink more of it.
Okay.
No, that would have been, whatever helped us be able to drink more Crown Royal,
And
that
not have
was
to go
it.
to sleep.
Yeah, ever.
Okay, so tell me about Barely Famous. This is a show on CMT, 2 seasons. You guys are wild. I stalked you down. One, you're like riding motorcycles with Keith Urban into Dairy Queen. Another time, you, Brad, dare Brett to say faux pas as you are announcing like the new artist at the ACMs.
Yeah.
And you have to
And I
work
do it.
in the word faux pas.
And I did it.
And you did it.
You know what's funny? Now, it didn't even seem like a thing at all at the time, and now I'm like, they let it. First of all, we weren't really big enough to be presenting an award. I don't know why they let us do
We
it.
never read the teleprompter if we went out there.
Oh, they gave us a
Ever.
teleprompter once. This is another true story. They gave us a teleprompter with some whatever to say, and we went out and did the Hunter S. Thompson had a quote, and I went out and said, "The music business is a plastic trench filled with pimps and thieves, where good men die like dogs."
And then there's
And then he says, yeah, and there's also a downside.
and then like,
Yeah.
did you see that? And then it's
That
like
was
a
not on
quiet
the
lull.
teleprompter. Had something totally like Oakley Dokley about
Here's
it.
the crazy thing too. This
So.
like the 5 people that knew us, like Tim and Faith, of course, were always on the front row, and Tim was always like, just like no. But the funny thing, I watched that about 4 or 5 months ago. My daughter found it on YouTube and she showed it to me. The funny thing is, after we say that, there's kind of a. And everybody kind of laughs a little bit, and I said, "Oh, it's okay. You'll get it tomorrow."
Yeah, I swear I'll never forget. Big Kenny's the only one that laughed.
Yeah, Big Kenny was like, "That
Thank
was
you.
good. Thank you, Big
But
Kenny."
you guys would just do anything. I love it.
There was a time when we would, I dare you to put your head through that window. Okay. I mean, there was a little bit of that.
What was your favorite episode on Barely Famous that you filmed?
The colonic.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Was it just you two that
Yes.
did the colonic?
Yeah.
Yes.
Did anything come out? I've done a colonic before, and I had a tapeworm.
I'll be honest.
Yeah, there's.
Yeah.
You want to tapeworm though, so you can eat whatever you want,
No,
right?
you
Well,
don't want to
You don't want
tapeworm, and
tapeworm?
you can see it coming out of the colonic. It's disgusting.
It's amazing the
Brett had like
the
a
health
coach's
issues
whistle and some Apple Jacks, but and there was a gerbil. I don't know. It's crazy.
coach's whistle.
Yeah.
Coach's whistle.
The coach's whistle.
The Apple Jacks I don't get. The coach's whistle that's good.
What came out? Y'all see anything cool?
Nothing came
It was
out
like
of mine,
a real
and I
weird
felt
orange
like
color though. It wasn't like brown like doo like you think. It was like
Okay.
toxic orange. It was
No.
like metallic.
I gotta be honest. I was waiting for this. You're not gonna believe how good you feel later. To be fair to the colonic giver and the people that like that, at the time I was probably full of a lot of other things that made you feel good right away.
Mm-hmm.
So it didn't. But I kept waiting and waiting and waiting to feel good, and I felt nothing
Nope.
but violated. You know,
It
It was. We
violating
thought
did-
it would be
process.
really funny.
I did go to the rape crisis center immediately afterwards.
Yeah.
But
We thought it would be really funny. And then when we got there, it wasn't funny. Like it's
a
intense.
serious process.
It's like intense. And so that's what made it really funny.
Yeah,
So
'cause it
I
really
just remember
actually
being at home and
hurts.
my phone rings. I pick it up and it's Dan Huff, who's an enormous country producer who never calls me. And it's like, "Are you getting a colonic on live TV on TV right now?" I was like, "Oh yeah, you're watching that." And he's like, "Oh my gosh, good night."
Checking.
That was it. I was like,
Okay, we got to wrap up. This is
Right,
almost an
wrap.
hour. I can't believe it. Tell me your biggest hits that you've written.
we wrote "Felt Good on My Lips," "Highway Don't Care," and if you're reading this for Tim McGraw, we wrote co-wrote. We all have co-writers on these songs, but we're not going to mention them because we don't care.
And they're not here.
Red Solo Cup for Toby Keith,
Big one.
Anyway, and Wrong Baby Wrong, and How I Feel for Martina McBride,
Love.
Lucky One for Faith, Feel That Fire for Dierks Bentley, Little Bit of Everything
for Keith
Urban.
red, white, and blue for Leonard
Red,
Skinner.
white, and blue for
I know
Leonard
Leonard
Skinner.
I just loved it.
Oh, that's badass.
Drink to That All Night.
Oh,
we wrote
that was
last
a
year.
big one.
Yeah, that was
And
a big
then
hit
he
with Jared
also-
Neiman, and Pitbull did a version with that.
Pitbull.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good job, guys.
So and then we've had a lot of album cuts.
I mean, considering you
know,
have
It used to be good to
2010.
have album cuts. Nowadays, it's a little more.
Oh, it used to mean something. We had a song on "Live Like You Were Dying." Sold
Yeah.
5 million copies. Whatever.
Wow.
That makes just having a
make
song
money
on it
off
make
that.
money.
Oh, yeah.
Not anymore.
No. Okay, what are you most excited about 2016?
We just signed a publishing deal with Big Loud Shirt, and we're excited about it. We're here at a new, small, powerful company.
Super
and,
powerful.
And they're
Small but mighty.
yeah, they're
Small
small,
but mighty.
and it's something we've never had, and it's just a new chapter. We feel like we're writing better than we've ever written, and it's we're in our mid 40s now, so we feel like we're almost as mature as like a 25-year-old now. So we're like a young executive.
Okay.
I mean, I'm about to retire, but no, I'm just kidding.
We work with guys that are much closer to our sons' ages, and that's how we actually act and feel. So this is a good company because there's some older guys, but it's very young feel. I feel like I'm working at Google instead of getting my teeth pulled every day.
Yeah.
It's a really cool place. So we actually are working harder, but having more fun than we've ever had.
Okay.
That's it.
That's the dream. I'm going to start ending all of my podcast sessions with a moment called Leave Your Light. So leave me some inspiration. Something that's either inspired you or what you want to inspire people by saying.
I heard a great quote just last week, so I'll throw that one. Build your own dreams or someone else will hire you to help them build theirs.
So true. I love that.
It's so bizarre that I was going to say the exact same thing.
Were you really?
Swear to God, I was going to say.
We must have heard it in the same place.
We saw it in the same place, but I took it home and wrote it down. I saw it this morning. I wrote it down and taped it to my refrigerator for my 4 children. Build your own dreams, or somebody else is going to hire you to help them build theirs.
And there's nothing wrong with that. No.
Are you guys that in sync with each other?
Sometimes it's frightening.
It's weird. I saw this girl that's a twin today, and I said, "Is your sister? Did you get married?" She goes, "Yeah." I said, "What about your sister?" "Yep, she just got married too." I said, "What's the difference?" She said, "About 6 months." And I was like, we're not twins, but I mean, we worked together since I was 14. He was 16. Like, all we did was music together forever.
I love it. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, do you guys fight? Let's end with that.
Yeah, I mean, we're normal human beings.
If we weren't brothers, it would be impossible to have a relationship like this because we shared a trundle bed and a bedroom for most of our life, so we can kind of get through whatever. But yeah, we argue, and it's funny. We have really good chemistry, obviously, in a writing room, but then we can get into it.
Yeah.
We've been a duo in the music industry longer than any other duo, except the Bellamy Brothers.
Y'all should be nominated for duo.
Are the Bellamy Brothers alive?
I just made that up.
Oh.
I just totally lied.
Okay, Warren Brothers, build your own
dreams, or someone else will hire you to help them build theirs.
I love that advice. And I think you guys
That's what you're doing with this show. What's it called? Hyper?
Hyper.
I love hyper.
I'm hypersensitive.
So we still have an invitation to be part of this on a regular basis.
I want you guys
because
to
now
be
I'm
co-hosts.
kind of sold on you.
I told you guys. I tried to
pretty
convince
good.
y'all to be
You're
my
the
co-host.
face of the
By
organization.
the way, everyone gets better at what they do, but you can either do that shit or you can't. You know what I mean?
So
You'll get better,
okay?
but yeah, no
You're
doubt.
gonna be killer at it.
Well, I did get one piece of advice. I need to lower my voice. Sometimes I talk really high, so I need to lower.
It's not
it.
annoying high.
Well,
it's like a female.
Yeah, but I just need to keep it low.
Yeah, but what's great about these podcast things is they're honest and they're real. And
Exactly.
Did a bulldog give you that advice, or?
Well,
I'm just kidding.
Say a bulldog?
Yeah, bulldog.
okay, we're wrapping. Love you guys, Warren Brothers. Peace.